Hang on, I need to look it up now because I got confused with what the name was. So with Tabletop Simulator on Fridays, and we were trying a new thing out, and I need to. There we go. Xia Legends of a Drift System. See.
Legends of a, is it Xia colon?
Xia colon XIA colon Legends of a Drift System. See,
it's not Legends of a Drift colon system.
What? Hey, Legends of what? No. Oh, you confused me now. No, you're wrong. Okay.
I'm just checking.
I had to look at. Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't have been able to remember that name either, would you? No, quite.
I'm still forgetting what that castle game was the other
one. Kingdoms and Castles. So we were playing this on Friday on Tabletop Simulator because we've got this problem. We're sort of halfway through a game of Battlestar Galactica, but at one of the exciting revealed denouement points of turn, where the Cylons were revealed and started wreaking havoc, then a couple of people went on holiday in a couple of weeks of succession.
Really
I know, terrible. So we're sort of halfway through that, and it's all saved, and we're going to pick that up another time.
But we're trying 2 weeks off. It's you that's causing the problem.
Well, no, because we only need 1 week when we're all there, and we'll have finished it. It's only a 2-week session. It's not, the whole blinking series. So we've been playing different stuff on Tabletop Simulator, and this Xia Legends of it, I've forgotten already. It's gone. Yeah.
Legends of a Down.
Yeah.
System of a Down.
That's it. Yeah. Xia is basically a space trading combat board game.
Okay.
It looks a lot on, it's another sort of looks like one thing is actually another type thing. It looks a fair bit like Eclipse and your Twilight Imperium with your hexagons of space and your little spaceships and stuff. But
does it have planets with little rings around that you can only get in from one direction?
Yes.
I saw a video on this.
Yes.
I actually know what you're talking about.
Hey, fantastic. Those are planetary force fields that have gates on one particular side. Yeah. So you this is interesting on a number of levels. So you got the board game itself, and then also the Tabletop Simulator module, which is a paid DLC module. And you think, God, why does anyone bother with that when there's like a million things in Steam?
Because it's probably licensed.
It's probably licensed and not actually piracy, which is nice.
Yeah.
But no, they've actually done a really large amount of scripted work with this thing.
If this is the game I'm thinking of, on their website they also, for the tabletop version, the pen and paper version, they have all the templates, so you can mod it.
You can mod the cardboard version.
So you can print out new cards and print out new hexes.
That's interesting.
But anyway.
Yeah. So there's basically somebody has spent a lot of time and effort working on, because Tabletop Simulator has a really quite elaborate scripting engine and all sorts of like behind the scenes stuff that we never normally look at because you don't really need. Essentially, if you're just simulating a flat piece of cardboard and a piece and a dice, then you don't really need to do much with it. You can just get straight on with that. I mean, you can make your own board games in that vein by finding high resolution JPEGs or whatever and uploading them as art and putting them on pieces of virtual cardboard. And that's about all the sort of creation you'd need to do. It comes with a whole load of chess pieces and whatever as stock models and things. You can basically make a game like that. But if you know what you're doing and really elaborate and dedicated with it all, you can do quite a lot with scripting stuff. So we find it. I think Embryo bought it and hosted it up. You only need one person to have bought it.
That's nice.
To host for. Basically, something that we didn't know about Tabletop Simulator is that only the host needs the module.
Oh.
Not everyone needs to go off.
So you don't have to spend that hours beforehand.
All trying to work out which one we got and all downloading the same one. No, the host downloads it, and then players connecting download from the host.
Oh, that's cool.
The resources and stuff. So you don't actually need the module yourself if the host of the game already has it, and they need it if they're going to host it. So
it's rather clever.
Yeah, but that means for the DLC, only the host needs to buy the DLC. Yeah. So I might buy this one anyway. It's pretty good. But we're connected up, and you find yourself in this big sort of space, like it's like the engine room of a spaceship. It looks vaguely Star Wars styled with like a space window and like planets, starfields and stuff outside. It's all very elaborate. Underneath the table is this big turbine fan thing, which looked a bit worrying. Then you got the table on top, which looks vaguely sort of a bit like, it's a bit styled a bit like the hollow chess table in the Millennium Falcon.
Okay.
It's that kind of sort of curved edges with stuff, and it's covered in buttons and tables and little grids and things, and you can push the buttons and little drawers come out with a humming noise, and there's like dice inside and tokens in another drawer, and it is so ridiculously over designed. So we spent about 10-20 minutes at the start just pushing buttons and stuff and making the noises. The tabletop surface itself has got a sort of series of planets and starfield sort of planets slowly orbiting underneath it, and it's just a flat surface with like an animated image underneath it. Very confusing. A load of hexagons on there that didn't actually map up to the board game itself. I mean, but we spent about 20 minutes, half an hour just playing with the fiddly bits and the special effects. You sort of push sideways on this ship selector thing, and different ship template sheets appear in this middle space, and the model that goes with each one appears in the middle space. I imagine for the cardboard game, you've only got one of each of these model spaceships and one of each of the ships. It just tidies it all away, and it made it quite tricky to work out what was the game and what was the mod, which is interesting. I'd like to see this thing. I mean, I guess because it's a paid DLC, anyone who tries to host their own version of this is going to get taken down very quickly, which means we're probably not going to see a more conventional, here are just the cardboard pieces
unlikely
mod of it. So I don't really know what's included in the actual game itself. I'll have to, because this is a
there's little model ships, there's counters, and there's cardboard, and I don't know the rest.
This is a cardboard game you can go out and buy as a box, so it's not just a online Tabletop Simulator exclusive. Anyway, so we finally got to playing the game, and you take your ship and the template and a whole bunch of these. It's the old hexagon tiles for space sectors. Only these hexagon tiles are quite large and jagged edged, as it were. And each of those is not one sector. Each one is a small grid of about 15 or 20 sectors on it, and they sort of fit together along particular lines. Symbols have to match along the edges and so on, and you can rotate them and so on. And so those become the board for your little spaceships. You start on various different spawn points, and then we found it was quite a complicated mechanic where your ship has a certain amount of energy. So, and then it has a series of arming charges. So there are 4 tokens that you can take and put on systems of the ship to use those systems. And then to put those systems then go down into the spent thing. And to recharge those back to be able to be used again, you have to use energy from your main bank. It got a little bit bogged down.
Yeah.
Then in addition to that, you buy systems to put on the ship, and each ship has got essentially a little Tetris grid that the systems will fit onto. They have to sort of fit together in a jigsaw fashion. So there's like a space management exercise there. I just ended up going out and spending all my starting money on the biggest engine that I could.
Of course.
Didn't buy anything else.
Did that cause a problem?
I won.
Okay.
It didn't cause a problem. No. So basically, I spent most of because you can do various different actions during a turn. You can fly to places and use various different areas on the board. There are symbols for buying and selling different resources, which are represented as cubes that go in your ship. On the areas you haven't put a system on.
You put systems down. They block off the squares.
They block off squares, but any squares you've got left, you can put cargo in. So you have to sort of mess around with that.
So if you gear up too far,
you've got no room to put any resources.
Nice.
There are various planet tiles that appear that you can fly into and go to buy and sell different types of resources. They're actually trading routes between different planets because some of them they'll sell for half of what they buy. So all routes will earn you twice as much money. Basically, you double up if you go and do the trading thing. You can fly around attacking people. There's various dice combat rules for that. There's various mission cards. There's a symbol on each tile that lets you pick a mission card from the deck, and it tells you have to go and do certain things, and then they'll pay out by doing those as well. You can do exploring. Each tile has a question mark symbol on it somewhere, and a face down token goes on those, and if you get to there, you can take the token and see what's on the other side, and it may be a victory point or it may be nothing. Fame points, that's the overall thing. You need to try and get these up to a certain amount of fame points to win. And if you fly off the edge of a tile or scan, you can use energy to scan the edge, what's on the tile next to you.
Or you can just charge.
You can just charge off the edge into the unknown, which I was doing quite a lot, quite reckless to be honest. And you draw a new tile from the deck, add it to the grid and so on, and you get this big old star map develop out, which is nice. There's planets with planetary shields that you can roll a dice to try and charge through, taking damage or bouncing off or getting bounty for doing it, or you can go through the actual gate where they want you to go through. You've got various asteroid and debris fields where you can mine stuff if you go to the sector and roll the right sorts of dice and so on. It's all these different the activities you'd normally expect in a game of Elite or something. This is essentially it as a board game. It's quite interesting. It's quite different from like Eclipse, which essentially is your civilization-wide 4X type game, whereas Zaya is essentially you and your individual spaceship. We're basically talking Elite instead of like Master of Orion. And it is interesting. It works. It hangs together. It was a bit complicated to start with, and I couldn't work out how much of this complexity was because the mod was so over the top with all its little buttons and stuff. When you pick the ship piece up and move it, it goes whoosh, and it actually has a sort of yellow trail comes out behind it as you move it around. So that was another 15 minutes of me generally being a child. But that's what I mean. Just the level of whistles and bells that have been applied to this Tabletop Simulator module up and on top of and above what the basic cardboard game itself does is astonishing, and probably worth the admission fee, worth paying for a DLC for Tabletop Simulator. So so if you work your way around, and you have to, I think there's a fame track, which is your score essentially around the outside, like your Waterdeep or whatever, with your big numbers around the outside. And as people work their way up there, the first person to get to a particular rankings of fame, you pull a fame card from the deck, which you place face up, and that becomes a global mission that anyone can attempt to try and do. And then they'll claim that, and that usually has a perk or a benefit as well. We were playing to 5 points, where the track went up to 20. But, first game, trying to learn how it works. There's also, we didn't use, but there are rules for NPCs as well, which means that I think each time you reveal a tile, if it has a certain symbol on it, you can generate an NPC to put on there. And basically, each player will control an NPC ship as well as their own, but the NPC ship has very specific, it will try and do this, and this, so you're not actually in charge of it. So you'll have like an enforcers, which come from lawful planets and will try and hunt people with bounties on. You've got outlaws who come from outlaw planets and they'll try and steal cargo from people. And neutral traders who will actually come from neutral planets, and they will try and go literally do trading in a sort of particular route between particular planets, as stated on this card, which means that you've got lots of additional targets for the whole fighty gameplay, or piracy, or stealing cargo, or whatever, in and above and on top of just your other players. I mean, there was a bit of fisticuffs in the game we played, but we're all generally quite polite and civilised people, so we didn't really do a lot of attacking each other. But I won in the end, because I think mostly because I had this sort of weird QA type mind, which in the unlikely event of I was pushing the envelope. I was exploring. I was exploring the exploring mechanic. Basically, I just decided I've got a really fast engine. So the different sized engines you put in your ship take up more and more slots, cost more and more of the game credits, but the larger engine lets you roll a different dice. It's a bit like that Formula 1 game we were playing at the time.
Formula D.
Formula D, yeah, which I haven't actually talked about on the show at all. But basically, the bigger your engine, the larger polyhedron dice you're allowed to use to roll to move. So the big engine I had...
like a centimetre one or an inch one?
Yeah, it was that big. No, it was a 12-sided dice for the big engine, whereas the smallest engine you're only allowed to roll a 6-sided dice, and that's how many squares you move. But of course, it doesn't matter what engine you've got, you can still roll a 1. So we found it was a bit vulnerable to dice, a bit chancy, which was impairing people's ability to work on strategies and things a bit.
There's also the fame thing. If you rolled a 20 or something.
Yeah, anytime you roll a 20 in your turn, you gain a victory point.
Yeah.
You're only allowed to do that once per turn, but
you can't just get really lucky.
Yeah, just 20.
You can't just find any reason to roll a dice.
There's lots of reasons to roll dice. Things like trying to fly through a planetary shield without going through the gate is a roll a 20. Flying into an asteroid field, roll a 20. See if you're hit. Trying to do mining, roll a 20. See if you mine or whether you take damage. So there's a lot of 20D dice, and that was odd as well, because a lot of those seem to shake out as a 50% chance of doing what you wanted and 50% chance of something going wrong and you losing damage or energy or something. And again, so if I had any criticisms of the game, I mean, it's visually very interesting and there's lots of little things to explore, even with the cardboard game, let alone the mod with all the whistles and bells. But I mean, criticisms, I suppose, is that it does seem quite dicey, quite chancy, and I suppose a lot of games use that to prevent just a chess master winning at chess.
Yes,
but you have to apply that carefully, I suppose, otherwise you sort of don't end up with a satisfying game. I don't know, but I would definitely play it again. It was a very interesting sort of thing. I mean, just exploring game mechanics. My strategy in the end was I'm just going to fly off the nearest edge of any tile that hasn't been explored yet, and I basically burnt through the entire 20 tiles of unexplored stuff. I think a few other people got some in, but I explored most of them, and boom, this just massive galaxy became.
Did you try and just go off in one direction so it wouldn't fit on the table?
No, I me, I abhor holes in grids like that. I have to fill them in, but so I ended up with quite a nice tight galaxy there. I think I've got some video, you can probably see it, but yeah, the thing is, if you fly off the edge, you have to declare which hexagon you're going into on the new tile, and if that's got hazard in it, you immediately start rolling D20. Dice and stuff. Yeah, exactly, D20 to see if you blow up. And I got just so lucky on those. I just went, and then I flew into the sun and blew up.
Oh,
yeah. Well, one of the tiles is a star, the star Zia, which if you fly into it, you're just dead. So that was good. I set the controls to the heart of the sun. It was brilliant.
What happens when you're dead?
Right, so you respawn. You roll a dice and respawn on that number. There's like each spawn point has numbers on it.
On 20, do you get a?
On 20, you can choose which one you want. Okay. So there's 19 different numbers on there on the tiles. You respawn. Because you're in the starter ship, you just get that ship back again. You have the option of buying bigger ships with your money.
Okay.
So I mean, if you're playing up to 20 points, that's probably quite useful. But for 5 victory points, not worth bothering with. Just get out there and do stuff. So yeah, there are tier 2 and 3 ships that are larger, have better capabilities and so on, that cost money to upgrade and so on. So you would get bumped back down to tier 1 if you blew up. I was only in tier 1. You lose all your cargo, didn't have any cargo. Yeah. You lose your missions, didn't have any missions, because I was just flying around like an arse. Yeah.
And now you knew where the sun was.
And also I respawned back somewhere where I could then immediately jump into getting on with some other stuff. So that was good. It was like they called it the suicide winder, as known to elite circles. Yeah. It's basically death taxi back to somewhere useful where I could crack straight on. So I gained quite a lot of victory points from exploration. And I think I just cranked up the remaining couple by doing trading. Which, there was a couple of planets happened to be quite near each other with the stuff. Oh, no, that's right. I went off and did some reckless mining in a. Basically, I just didn't care. I was playing stupid reckless and just got really lucky with dice, which I don't know how disgruntled everyone else was about all that, but. Yes, I went to a debris field and managed to mine 2 cubes of cyber. It's a resource. And then flew it to a planet where they buy lots of cyber and sold it for money. So I was selling cyber for money and that won the game. So I quite enjoyed it. I mean, the mod itself is insane. There's just so many bonkers little whistles. We had troubles at one point. I'm a bit nervous about heavily scripted tabletop simulator games, because if they go wrong, there's no way back. It just screws everything, because you're relying on the stuff hanging together. We tried... But there was a Carcassonne we tried that had automatic scoring. Yeah.
That's not the easiest problem in the world to solve.
It's not easy, no. I mean, how would you write that? But it worked as far as it went. But I think we did something, or for some reason it became detached or fell through the gaps or something, and we just couldn't get it to work after that. We had to abandon the game. So but this seems to be tested, which if you're doing scripting, it's programming. You need testing.
Yeah. At this point, you're actually buying a computer game.
It is it's essentially. I mean, okay, it's on a particular platform, Tabletop Simulator, but
it's just using an engine.
Yeah, that is an engine at that point. Yeah, exactly. But it seems to have been tested. We didn't seem to. We had some troubles, and I think that was more server communication stuff rather than the module itself breaking down.
Yeah.
The drawers was not working suddenly, and it seemed like lag or rubber banding. So disconnect, start, restart, join. But that's the good thing with Tabletop Simulators. As long as the host is still running, you can just jump straight back in, choose your colour side again, and immediately pick up where you were, where it is. So that's good. I mean, obviously, if the host crashes, then the whole thing's gone. But it does auto save every couple of turns or every so often. So it's quite robust in that regard. I mean, I've gushed about Tabletop Simulator itself on many occasions. I think it's brilliant. It really is absolutely clever. But this is Legends of the Drift System is interesting. It's one of those games that appeals to you if you like lots and lots of twiddly things, lots of options, lots of agency, lots of different things to explore, both literally exploring tiles and also exploring game mechanics and options that are available. I love that kind of thing. I just get desperately bored sat down in front of chess or something. Oh God, here we go, snakes and ladders again. Monopoly. Yeah, exactly. There's very little to explore in a game of Monopoly. There's very little different types of strategy you can follow. Yeah. It's basically buy everything you land on, then try and get everyone else to land on it. But so yeah, I'd recommend that. I can't remember. I don't know how much it is. It's not going to be huge. It's going to be a couple of quid. It's these modules in Tabletop Simulator are not full price. 30 quid games. They're usually a couple of quid if that. So look for that if you're a Tabletop Simulator fan and give it a go. And also, have a look for the cardboard game as well. It's out there. You can buy it. I don't know nothing about how to find that or how much that is.
You go to a cardboard game shop,
I suppose, or you can order it from Amazon or whatever. I've just got... There we go. Yeah, so I was trying to find the name. It took me to Board Game Geek, and they've given it a 7.8 out of 10.
Yeah, people complain about the randomness. And also stuff... I heard some bad things about the mining.
Yeah, the mining... Well, you wouldn't expect the mining to be so hazardous. That is a 50-50 chance of taking damage while you're mining.
Yeah.
You think miners would be more competent at that.
I don't know, I've played Eve.
So it says 3 to 5 players, 60 to 180 minutes playing time. Yeah. Age 12 plus. Weight. They give things a complexity rating out of 5, and they've put 3.10 as their sort of aggregate polling on that. So there you go. And I guess there's a company name.
3.10, is that 3.10 out of 3.10?
3.10 out of 5.
0.10. So is 0.10 actually 0.1?
I suppose. Yeah. No, because that'd be 0.01, wouldn't it?
Oh, good point.
Yeah. Publisher, Far Off Games, Multi-Day Games. There you go. So, yeah, you can Google for that. Zaya Legends of a Drift System. Yes.
Of a Down.
Yeah. It's a great game. Silly name.
Terrible name. We've had that a couple of times recently.
Yeah.
Naming games is hard. All the good
names are gone, yeah. So, yeah, that was good. Well, hopefully we'll be playing that again. I liked it.